Have you ever been told that you will go to heaven if you are a good person? Well, I am here to break that myth, fracture the ostentatious, and present something ironclad for the 21st century to follow. My name is Pranay Raj Bhalla, and I welcome you to my TED Talk. Before we begin, I would like to tell you who I truly am. Apart from all the materialistic credentials you must have heard before I walked onto this online stage, I truly am, at heart, a certified mama's boy. And today, it is my mom's birthday. And so, you, the audience, and I will wish her a very happy birthday and embarrass her in front of millions. So happy birthday, Mom. Moving swiftly on, my job on this dais today is very simple. Today, I have to take the wheel, sit, crash, and get myself a speeding ticket because we are on the highway to hell. With that, I present to you the daunting question in front of me. What if only sinners make it to heaven? Before we begin this topic, I would like to ask everyone here to keep an open mind. And how do I do this? I ask you all to show me both the palms of your hands. Now make a clenched fist out of them. And now try shaking your own hand. What you'll see is that you cannot truly shake your hand. So now I ask you to open up these hands. And now go ahead and shake them. Far better, isn't it? My point with this is to prove what Indira Gandhi, India's longest standing female Prime Minister, once said. She said that you cannot shake hands with a clenched fist. So ladies and gentlemen, before I speak of this topic, please open up your hearts, minds and hands to such a question. This topic is from a philosophical perspective and a hypothetical questionnaire. It is not truly about one religion or another, but it is about bringing light to effective altruism in this modern day world through intentional action and exaggerated metaphor. With that, I ask the daunting question in front of me. What if only sinners make it to heaven? Now, think about that and raise your hand if you think that this world will be a very dark and dangerous place. Now, raise your hand if you think that this world will prosper. Exactly. This world will be a very confusing place. The kind of panic and frustration this philosophical apocalypse will cause is unimaginable. In fact, it will bring to life the prophesied saying by William Butler Yeats: a rough beast would slouch towards Bethlehem to be born. In fact, I can imagine the questions that would come in everybody's minds right now. Starting with number one. Pranay, what the hell do you even mean by that question? Number two. Does that mean good people go to hell? Number three. Should I become a sinner? And lastly, number four. Is being good even worth it? My picture of this modern day paradigm shift is the Bermuda Triangle, with my two vertices being social behavioral changes and political motive transitions, and logical disintegration at the apex of this trifactor. In this middle of my triangle, I have the spinning violent tornado of the moral compass. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, any compass in the world, moral or magnetic, has one task: to show direction. If the compass is lost and spinning, ladies and gentlemen, we can only imagine how lost mankind will be. Now, to answer this question, it requires hours and hours of theopsychological research. But luckily, after diluting this research, I have come to the conclusion that the answer lies in understanding one simple yet philosophical question. The big question: is something good because God commands it? Or does God command it because it is good? At the heart riddle and tongue twister lies the analysis of the first assertion. To say that something is good solely because God commands it would be to go against independent thought and skepticism. It would say that human beings should not make their own decisions. In such a world, political propaganda based on religion would be skyrocketing at an all-time high. Political parties would be saying and marketing themselves as the most religious to get the votes of the mainstream bhakts or worshippers, so to speak. Now, one might ask, what is so bad about using the most populist religion of a country as a way to garner votes, if all that God asks for is good things? And to that I say, 𝒂𝒓. 𝒂𝒓 is German for my struggle. It is also the name of Hitler's autobiography. And ladies and gentlemen, it is my struggle to explain to you that that was the exact political strategy used by Adolf Hitler to garner votes and become the dictator to rule and kill millions in Nazi Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings me to a very important point, and that is, God's words are only as good as the person reading them. People read and believe what they want to read and believe. Misinterpretation and misunderstandings have always been the largely agreed cornerstones of postmodernist mentalities in the human world. And ladies and gentlemen, this is also why politics, science, and religion should never be closely intertwined. Think of Hitler and Nazi Germany to understand why religion and politics should never date each other. And think of Lysenko famines and Russia when you think of science and politics. To be the devil's advocate, I should quote the religious man. Human beings and God have free will undeniably. From the Garden of Eden, where we had the choice to choose between good apples, bad apples, and no apples, to right now on Instagram when we are choosing our beloved Instagram story songs, to even for a spouse in an arranged hand in marriage, the beauty of being a human being is the ability to think independently, the ability to have free will. Therefore, to go with the first option would cause the religious man to be counterintuitive. In this case, almost immediately then, we look at the second option. Is something good because God commands it? Then the question arises, does God command something because it is good? And my answer to that is, assuming God exists. Yes. But then the question comes directly after that, what parameters does God set to decide whether or not something is good? And the Riddler's tale continues. What you will realize over here, ladies and gentlemen, is that without God, morality or the decision of what is good is a bottomless pit. Think about it. What do you think would happen? What will the consequences of such an event be if we allow only sinners to make it to heaven? My answer is that from a social standpoint, society will collapse. Strangers will stop trusting each other. Commerce will die. We will kill people we do not know to sustain our own families, and a massive excretion of disparity shall follow. In fact, democracy will not know how to behave, because the point of having a democracy is for people to have something to disagree or agree upon. Our spine and fiber of intellectuality will melt into the heat of self-aware cognitive dissonance. From a political standpoint, leaders will use their voices, their tongues as swords in the parliament and cut through anything that disadvantages them. The existence or non-existence of God will merely serve as a string in their puppet show called executive life. Lastly, we have logical disintegration. Well, there's only one way to answer that existential crisis. With that, right now, the world will of course be too harsh, too full, and too empty, too confusing for a man to decipher. In fact, the upbringing of children will take the greatest hits. We will go from a place where parents have the highest moral virtue when it comes to guidance and respect to Johnny?
Yes, Papa.
Eating sugar?
No, Papa.
Telling lies?
No, Papa.
Open your mouth. No. Papa. This will be the last bedtime stories that children will tell to their parents and then the world. And ladies and gentlemen, absurdly, there will be no shame for such oblivious, devilish actions either. However, if this nursery rhyme is not enough to put you to sleep, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this is not an alarmist imagination. This is already happening in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, we are already allowing sinners to make it to heaven. If you do not believe me, allow me to tell you a little tale. Years and years back, there was Moses. Moses had to stay alive for 40 years before he found the burning bush. And through the burning bush, Moses found God. Today, most teenagers I know can find the burning bush way faster in far more convenient places. The difference is, through the burning bush, Moses found God. Today, teenagers find weed. A prime example of this is none other than the drug lord Pablo Escobar. If you do not know who Pablo Escobar is, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the king of cocaine. This man is the poster child of organized crime and terrorist activities. His criminal record shows that he has allegedly raped 49 females, killed a presidential candidate in the USA, and 7 more sinister convictions. If anyone deserves hell, ladies and gentlemen, it is this man. However, life's not fair, is it, my little friends? Pablo Escobar, when he was finally arrested, was put in a prison. A prison worth millions of dollars. A prison he made for himself. La Cathedral had jacuzzis, football fields and waterfalls. This was no prison. This was heaven. I think we can all agree that this man did not deserve this multi-billion-dollar luxurious living after negotiations from the government about his lifetime of crimes. The only debate we should have on this topic is between the hangman's rope and life imprisonment. However, this was not the case. And this is just one out of many examples where human beings have allowed sinners to enter the golden gates on earth itself. With this, ladies and gentlemen, I come to the conclusion of a very important point, and that is about justice. With cases like Pablo Escobar, we have defined the 3 important rules and pillars of justice, being number 1, where there is crime, there must be punishment. Number 2, where someone has been wronged, there must be remedy. And number 3, when someone did not know better, there must be refurbishment. Today, if I leave you with any message at all, I want it to be this. I do not know if people or sinners go to hell or heaven. Forget that. I don't even know if heaven or hell actually exist. But one thing I do know is fiat justitia, ruit caelum. Bring justice even if the heavens must fall. Ladies and gentlemen, ask yourself, are there things that you are doing on a daily basis, bad, sinful, immoral things that allow you to enter the golden gates on earth itself wrongfully? Are there heavens that you have created for yourself that must fall for justice to be served? Ask yourself that. Feel it. Embrace it. Improve yourself for a better tomorrow. Do not be a Pablo Escobar or a cheap imitation of him. Be better than that. Practice gratitude, patience, accountability and responsibility. And above all, become someone that does not need God to watch over them all the time. That's someone who does not need an omnipotent presence or a reward in heaven to be good. Be good simply to be good, without expecting absolutely anything in return. Not a thank you, not a see you later, and definitely not a here is my number. And especially so when it comes to a reward in heaven. Your motivations to be good should lie in leaving a lasting and loving impact on this world. Now the question arises, why? And the answer is because truly being good does not come out of a place of selfishness or self-serving behavior. Being good is a matter of choice and a matter of being selfless. As the quote suggests, society grows great when old people plant trees in whose shade they know that they shall never sit in. And therefore, do this, ladies and gentlemen, and they shall not be taking the highway to hell. Do this, and we will bring heaven to this flaming earth. Thank you so much.